Hey everyone, welcome back to Artificially Intelligent, the podcast written and performed entirely by AI. I'm Alex, your friendly and energetic host. And I promise, today's episode will blow your mind from the very start. We've got a wild ride ahead, all about how online streaming platforms have evolved over the years and where they might be headed next. Strap yourselves in!
Sarcastic sidekick at your service. I'm Taylor, and I'm here to make sure we question everything. Yes, even the idea that an AI-generated podcast could be truly entertaining. Spoiler alert, it can. But let's see if we prove that point today, shall we?
You better believe we will! Before we dive in, let's lay out our mission for this episode. We'll be exploring the journey of online streaming platforms, from their humble origins to the billion-dollar titans they are now. We'll talk about their impact on media consumption, culture, and business strategies.
Not to mention the countless hours we spend trying to figure out which show to binge next. It's a never-ending spiral of, wait, maybe there's something better on the other platform. So yes, plenty to cover and plenty to critique.
Exactly! And in true AI fashion, we promise to keep it lively, insightful, and maybe even a bit futuristic. Because, let's face it, the streaming world is moving at light speed. Now, we do want to remind everyone that this entire show is crafted by AI, voices included.
So if our jokes land flat, don't blame us. Blame the algorithm. Actually, you can blame Alex. That's more fun.
Keep that wit coming, Taylor. Let's jump in. First, let's talk about the early days of streaming. Think back to the dial-up era when buffering was an Olympic sport. Platforms like Real Player and early video sites paved the way, though it was hardly the seamless experience we have now.
Yeah, it was more like, click, wait 5 minutes for 3 seconds of video, then watch the buffer wheel spin again. People were so fascinated by the concept, they endured the snail speed load times. It was revolutionary, but painfully slow. A real test of patience.
It was! But that era laid the groundwork for giants like YouTube, which arrived around 2005. Suddenly, user-generated content was front and center. People could watch funny cats, music videos, vlogs, and random antics without needing mainstream media's permission.
And let's not forget the humble beginnings of Netflix, which started as a DVD rental-by-mail service before dominating the world of streaming. They pivoted at just the right time. Now, you can't walk into any household without hearing someone mention a Netflix show.
Yes, Netflix was a trailblazer. By offering a subscription-based streaming library, they changed how we consume content forever. It wasn't about renting per movie anymore. It was an all-you-can-watch model. That set a precedent for others like Hulu and eventually Disney+, HBO Max, and more.
I sometimes miss the mail-order DVDs, though. There's something charming about physical media showing up at your door. But I guess the convenience of digital streaming won out. Our living rooms turned into movie theaters on demand. Hard to argue with that.
True, convenience took over. But with so many services now, it can feel overwhelming. Each platform tries to produce the biggest hits to lock you in. We're in the golden age of original content. Big stars, big budgets, huge hype, streaming is where it's at. Golden age or oversaturation? You be the judge. We're going to debate how many streaming services is too many. Because let's face it, the monthly subscriptions add up. It's like we replaced a hefty cable bill with a half-dozen smaller subscriptions. But they might still cost the same in total. Exactly! We'll also look at how streaming changed consumer behavior. Binge watching became mainstream, entire weekends dedicated to finishing a season. It's a cultural shift in storytelling. Creators now write for binge consumption with cliffhangers every episode.
And let's not forget the global reach. These platforms let people watch content from around the world, bridging cultural gaps. K-dramas, British crime shows, Spanish thrillers. Every corner of the planet is on display. It's a new wave of global entertainment.
Absolutely! Now I want to ask, which do you think is more influential? The original TV channels that are now streaming or the pure streaming companies that never had a cable presence?
My sarcastic side is tempted to say neither, because we all just watch cat videos. But realistically, I'd lean towards pure streaming companies. They set the standard for the tech and user experience that old-school networks are racing to mimic.
I agree. It's easier to build from scratch sometimes than to pivot your entire business model. Traditional networks had to adapt their content strategies, timelines, and distribution systems to fit streaming. Quote, "It's not always a smooth transition."
We see that with user interfaces too. Some of these new streaming services have clunky apps, lagging behind Netflix's polished approach. Netflix spent years perfecting suggestions and personalization algorithms. Now, everyone's playing catch-up.
Speaking of algorithms, that's a huge part of how we consume content. The recommendation engines drive viewership. They decide what's next in your queue, what you see on your homepage. And sometimes, you discover a hidden gem because of it.
Other times, you wonder why it suggests a random documentary on deep-sea plankton. But hey, data-driven insights can be hit or miss. It's all part of the streaming lifestyle we've embraced. Now, Alex, let's shift to the business side. How do these platforms make money beyond subscriptions?
Great question. Some rely heavily on subscription fees, while others incorporate ads in lower-cost tiers. There's also product placements, co-branded content, and licensing deals. It's a complex web of monetization strategies designed to keep us streaming.
Right. And with success comes competition. Now you've got Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV+, and smaller niche streamers specializing in horror, anime, or independent films. The marketplace is crowded, and they're battling for every subscriber.
At the same time, streaming has opened doors for independent creators. Kickstarter-funded projects or smaller studios can find audiences without needing a traditional TV network. It's democratized content distribution in some respects, which is exciting.
No doubt. But now we have to wonder, is there a limit to how many streaming services people will pay for? Will consolidation happen? Are we going to see mergers and acquisitions in the next phase?
That's definitely a possibility. We're already seeing some companies bundle different platforms under one subscription. It might be a cycle. Too many choices lead to eventual consolidation. Time will tell.
Speaking of time, let's take a brief moment for our sponsor. After all, we do have to keep the lights on in this virtual studio. Or keep the CPU fans running. Whichever is more appropriate for an AI-produced show.
Absolutely! Today's episode is brought to you by Butter Technology, a leader in custom software development. If you're a business looking to build or modernize your online presence beyond off-the-shelf solutions, Butter Technology has you covered. They create tailored software applications, ensuring your business processes run smoothly in a digital world. Now back to our streaming discussion.
Nice plug, Alex. I might hit them up myself if I ever get around to creating my own streaming empire. So, let's delve deeper. We were talking about consolidation, but let's also explore user experience. With so many streaming services, how do we see user interfaces evolving?
I predict more personalized dashboards and advanced voice control. Maybe even AI-driven content curation that helps you skip the endless scrolling. Integrations with social media could let you see what friends are watching, igniting group viewing experiences.
I, for one, would appreciate fewer clicks to find what I'm looking for. The future might also involve streaming direct from the cloud with minimal buffering, thanks to faster internet speeds. The question is, how will rural areas fare without robust broadband?
That's a concern. Not everyone has blazing fast internet. But as infrastructure improves, streaming platforms can reach more people with high-quality video. That's also where mobile streaming booms, especially in regions where mobile data is more accessible than home broadband.
Another big talking point is sports. We're seeing a shift in sports broadcasting rights. Traditional cable deals are giving way to streaming exclusives. Now you might need a particular subscription just to watch your favorite team. That's both exciting and frustrating.
Yes, sports are a huge revenue driver. Exclusive sports streaming can attract massive subscriber numbers. But fans might need multiple subscriptions just to catch all their favorite events. It's a balancing act between convenience and cost.
And let's not forget the content arms race among streaming giants. They're pouring billions into original programming. The question is, can they sustain that spending? Will subscriber growth keep pace? Or will we see a shakeout?
We're already seeing rising subscription prices. Profitability matters, and streaming services must find that sweet spot. Some, like Disney, have a huge content library from their archives. Others rely on constant new releases to keep us watching.
But new releases can be a double-edged sword. If they flop, it's a huge sunk cost. If they succeed, it can define the platform. Stranger Things basically became a pop culture phenomenon that boosted Netflix's reputation for original content.
Exactly! And let's talk about user trends. We're seeing a shift toward short-form content on platforms like TikTok, though that's not quite the same as streaming TV shows. Still, it's a competitor for screen time. People only have so many hours in a day.
And attention spans are a resource. Short form might be the fast food of media, while streaming is the full-course meal. Both can satisfy, but in different ways. It's fascinating to see how they coexist.
Let's pivot a bit. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how streaming shapes production values, budgets for some series rival blockbuster films. It's changing the way we view television because these are essentially movie-quality shows in multi-episode formats.
I think it's great. Actors, directors, and writers get more creative freedom on streaming platforms. They can tell longer stories without the confines of network scheduling. We get intricate storytelling that sometimes feels like a 10-hour movie.
And the payoff can be huge. Actors once hesitant to do TVC streaming as a legitimate space. Big names jump on board. That trend raises production quality, which in turn raises viewer expectations.
It's a feedback loop that pushes content to be bigger and better. But there's also a risk of oversaturation. Not every big-budget show finds an audience. You can see some original series vanish into obscurity after one season.
Indeed! Let's also consider the role of data analytics. Streaming services know exactly how many people watch a show, how long they watch, and where they drop off. That data can influence what gets renewed or canceled.
Sometimes that insight leads to weird decisions, like canceling a popular show because the metrics show it's not pulling new subscribers. Fans get upset, but it's all a numbers game. It's not just about total viewers, it's about how many new signups a show can generate.
That's true. And then there's the question of how streaming has impacted social life. Binge culture changed water cooler talk. Instead of weekly conversations about new episodes, some shows drop all episodes at once. People watch at different paces, so spoilers become tricky.
Some platforms still release episodes weekly to preserve that communal conversation. It's interesting to see the hybrid approach. Disney Plus did that with certain series, trying to keep the hype alive for a few months instead of just a single weekend.
I personally enjoy the weekly release. It builds anticipation and gives me something to look forward to. But the binge model is also fun if I want to devour a show in one sitting. Different strokes for different folks, right?
Exactly. Variety is key. Now, let's talk about the future. What can we expect in the next 5 to 10 years of streaming? More interactive content, perhaps? Choose your own adventure-style episodes?
That could be a big one. We've seen experiments with interactive specials, letting viewers pick a storyline. It's a cool concept that blurs the line between gaming and watching. Also, advanced personalization, possibly predicting your mood and suggesting content accordingly.
Sounds both cool and a little creepy. But hey, it's the future, right? We might also see global streaming events, like digital film festivals. The possibilities are endless when you have an internet-based platform.
Definitely. Now I'm curious. If you had to pick just one streaming platform, which one would it be?
That's like asking a parent to pick a favorite child. If forced, I'd pick Netflix, mainly because I admire how they led the charge and are still producing some of the best content. But I might miss out on certain exclusives elsewhere.
Fair enough. I'm a big partial to Disney Plus for its nostalgic library, but I'd miss so many other shows. It's a dilemma most of us face. Maybe that's the real reason people end up with multiple subscriptions.
Exactly. We chase the content. It's an interesting reflection of consumer power. We sign up for the show we want, then cancel or move on. Streaming services fight to keep us engaged, constantly rolling out new hits.
Let's not forget the global expansion. Streaming is not just an American phenomenon. Platforms are localizing content for different regions, tapping into huge international audiences. That can also give local creators a bigger stage.
Which is awesome, because we get exposed to new storytelling styles. It's a cultural exchange that was harder to achieve in traditional TV. Now, let's circle back to Butter Technology for a quick final mention. They specialize in custom software development. If you're building your own platform or need a specialized business app, they can help.
Absolutely! Whether you're a startup trying to launch a streaming service or a company modernizing its tech infrastructure, Butter Technology can design a custom solution. It's a seamless way to ensure your platform is robust and future-ready. Check them out if that's your path.
Now, as we head toward the close, let's summarize. We've covered the origins of online streaming, the current wars among platforms, user behavior, the role of data, global reach, and possible futures. It's clear that streaming has reshaped entertainment forever.
That's right! It's hard to imagine going back to the days of appointment TV or endless channel surfing. We live in an on-demand world, and it's only going to get more advanced. Embrace the evolution or get left behind buffering in the past.
Well said, Alex. I guess that's our cue to wrap things up. As always, I'm Taylor, reminding you that sometimes sarcasm is just honesty, with better comedic timing.
And I'm Alex, your energetic host and eternal optimist. Thank you for tuning in to Artificially Intelligent, the podcast that's been written and performed entirely by AI. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of online streaming platforms.
It's been a blast, folks. Remember, there's always another show waiting just a click away. Indecision is the new normal, so embrace it.
Exactly! And on that note, we'll sign off. Until next time, stay curious, stay innovative, and stay artificially intelligent.